Welcome everyone back to the Ryan Harper Show. This is going to be a great episode. We are on episode number 8. We have tons of news to get into, so let's just dive right into it. Thank you so much for the support. First news we have is coming from Kennedy. He has a new victory fund. Okay, so Robert F. Kennedy Jr., the person I'm voting for in this election, and you should too. He has a real chance of winning. Probably one of the best candidates in my lifetime. He started the Kennedy Victory Fund. Okay, now it says that we are thrilled to announce an unprecedented partnership with the nonpartisan Libertarian National Committee that revolutionizes the way that you can support our campaign. The increased donation ceiling means individuals can now contribute significantly more than before, and Team Kennedy can now raise money on the same playing field that major establishment candidates have always enjoyed. Okay, it says you can contribute now at KennedyVictoryFund.com. Okay, so that's really cool. I think that's awesome because, it is rigged against independent candidates like RFK Jr. and every other independent candidate. It's rigged so that they can't raise enough money to actually support their campaign. But now, with this Kennedy Victory Fund in partnership with the LNC, you can now donate more, the people can donate more, and it's great. That means he can actually have the same benefits that the other two candidates have always had. Really, really cool news. Now, check this out. Newsmax reported that FBI, okay, so this is coming from Trump. They reported that Trump said this. Trump posted to Truth Social, which is his social media platform, similar to X and Twitter. Here's what he had to say. Trump said that the FBI was saving radical left lunatics. Okay, it says on Thursday night in a post posted to Truth Social, Donald Trump accused the agency of saving radical left lunatics. That's a very interesting story. And in some ways he's right, in some ways he's wrong. Of course, you can let me know what you think in the comment section down below, though. Now, Newsmax also reported that Vice President Kamala Harris hasn't done enough to condemn anti-Israel protesters because they are the party of the protesters. That was a quote by Representative Anthony D'Esposito, okay, who told Newsmax this quote. And it's interesting, and it's kind of true, because, yes, the Democratic Party has become the party of protesters. Okay? But it's also true that there are some protests that do happen on the right as well, and protests aren't inherently bad. Protests can be good, they can create change. But violent protests are the issue. And protests that are passive-aggressive are the issue. Okay, so this protest right here, which was outside of the Capitol building when Netanyahu was giving his speech in front of Congress, these people were burning American flags, they were putting up their own flags, their own Palestinian flags, and they were spray painting Hamas onto the monuments, which is the terrorist organization in Gaza, okay? And they were also spray painting Free Gaza, which is fine, but what they're doing is not fine, okay? The cause, I get it. I get the cause. Okay, I get that there's people dying in Gaza every single day. It's sad. It sucks. It's terrible. It shouldn't happen. I get it. Just like there shouldn't be people dying in Israel. But Hamas is the terrorist organization, and you guys are supporting them. It's crazy. It's lunacy. It's actually, these people are lunatics. You're openly supporting a terrorist organization. That's like openly supporting Al-Qaeda. It's crazy. It's lunatic. Okay? Check this out. Newsmax reported that the FBI wants to interview former President Donald Trump regarding the assassination attempt at the rally in Pennsylvania, according to multiple reports. So the FBI wants to interview Trump. Now, of course, this is probably not going to be like an on-camera interview, since it is the FBI. It's probably going to be a private interview. But of course, news will probably come out showing reports of what they talked about, potentially. Now, let me know if you think that will actually happen. Do you think Trump will accept an interview with the FBI? I don't know. I really don't know. I don't think he will. So I'm going to go that route, but there's a possibility that he would as well. Alright, now the next news we have is coming from American Values 2024, which is the super PAC of Robert F. Kennedy Jr. They posted this video showing a clip from the Associated Press, who's a news organization who was covering the press conference that RFK Jr. had just the other day. And their mics were on. And they didn't realize their mics were on. We're talking about the reporters who are actually filming this event. their mics were on, and they seemed to be uninterested in what Robert F. Kennedy Jr. had to say. They were like, "We got to get out of here, man. Let's go get some food. Let's leave." So it's kind of disrespectful, but of course they didn't know their mics were on. But either way, kind of crazy, because that's your job, to be there and film this. So it says, these reporters didn't realize their mics were hot, okay? AP News, which is Associated Press, their team tried to shut off Kennedy's feed, seeming frustrated that he was calling out mainstream media. Over the last year, we've seen a systematic attempt to silence Robert F. Kennedy Jr., whose poll numbers are skyrocketing, and who poses a real threat to the two main candidates. Mainstream news is bought and paid for, and now we have proof. Now I'm going to show you the clip, and if you're watching on podcast, you can hear the clip. And it's going to show you these reporters, first of all, who tried to shut off Kennedy's feed, which is ridiculous. I mean, they're the news. They're supposed to report this stuff, and they tried to censor him and shut it off. That's not okay. But you're going to hear what they're going to say right here when their mics were on. So I'm going to play the clip, and then we'll discuss it after.
This time.
Let's go.
If you don't make the debate the next time, will you take that as a sign?
Break off a little bit.
No, I'm not going to. That would be the opposite of a sign. That would be the networks colluding with the parties to keep me off the stage, which they did the last time. So I'm not going to cave into that just because, your networks are saying, are fencing me out, which they are. You will not see me on ABC, CBS, NBC, or CNN page this time.
So that was the clip. As you can see, they said, in quotes, let's go. So they wanted to leave the event, obviously in a whisper, but their mics were on, so we got to hear it. It said, let's go. Let's see what else they said here. So they said, let's go. And then they sighed, which is crazy, seeming uninterested in the event. They said, let's break off after this. Okay, so essentially saying let's leave once the speech is done. Let's wrap this up. Which is crazy, by the way, because that's their job to be there. And the speech is still going, but they're like, let's wrap this up. Let's end it. That's censorship. And then on top of that, they said the reporters continue to talk about cutting the feed the entire time. So we have, obviously Robert F. Kennedy Jr. talking about the mainstream media and saying, how he's being censored by them, which is true. Absolutely true. And of course they sigh again. The AP News team sighed again. Ironically, all this happens as Kennedy calls out the mainstream media for shutting him out. True. And yeah, overall this was a very disrespectful situation. Let me know what you think, though. I think AP should be ashamed, and they should probably get new reporters who actually want to be there and do their job. I mean, come on now. Newsmax reported that Representative Ronnie Jackson, okay, the White House doctor under former President Trump, insisted Friday that the GOP nominee was injured earlier this month by a would-be assassin's bullet. Not shrapnel, not glass, or anything else. So it's now confirmed by Ronnie Jackson, who was the former President Trump White House doctor, that it was indeed a bullet. Okay, and this is actually confirmed by also ABC News, who said a bullet struck former President Donald Trump's ear during his assassination attempt on July 13th, the FBI said on Friday evening. So the FBI is now confirming it as well, saying that indeed it was a bullet. In quotes, what struck former President Trump in the ear was a bullet, whether whole or fragmented into smaller pieces, fired from the deceased subject's rifle, the FBI said in a statement. The update to their investigation came after Trump lashed out against FBI Director Christopher Wray for testifying earlier this week that it was still unclear whether Trump was hit by a bullet or something else at his Pennsylvania rally. So it's confirmed now by both the FBI as well as Ronnie Jackson, the former Donald Trump White House doctor, that this was indeed a bullet, that Donald Trump did get hit by a bullet. He did not get hit by shrapnel, did not get hit by glass, nothing else. It was indeed a bullet. So that's cool. Not cool. Definitely not cool. But it's cool that we have the information now, okay? It's good that we have the information, because if we didn't, people would still be speculating whether it was a bullet or shrapnel, which is ridiculous, because we saw the live footage. And now we know the truth. So check this out. Newsmax reported that a Tennessee man was arrested Wednesday after he allegedly threw chairs from a Nashville hotel balcony. What? Okay, so he was throwing chairs off of a balcony at a hotel. And he was also ranting about how former President Donald Trump and other political figures... Okay, so he was ranting about them. He was ranting about Donald Trump. And he said that Donald Trump needs to die. That's crazy, bro. These people are insane, dude. These people are out there and they genuinely think this man needs to die. And they're supporting this man being killed. It's actually insane. These people have gone... They've turned into psychopaths. Normal people have turned into psychopaths because of the news that they watch. Because of the mainstream media, MSNBC, and these lies. And the hate that they build up in people. It's crazy. And now these people have become psychopaths. Who just want people dead. Their political figures dead. People that they don't agree with. They want them dead. And we've just crossed a line in America. It's not good. We need to revert back. We need to go back to peace and respecting each other no matter what. At all costs, we need to uphold those values. Now, American Values 2024, once again, RFK Jr. Super PAC, posted this. And apparently, someone on Twitter, or X, named David D. Chapman, here's what he tweeted. He said, "Report. RFK Jr. has canceled multiple campaigns and has discussed dropping out and endorsing Donald Trump, per Revolver News." So that's the post that David posted. And now we actually get some answers to this. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. replied to that post, or retweeted it, saying fake news. So he's calling it out as fake news, which means he's not going to leave the race and he's not going to endorse Trump. I mean, look, I didn't even need him to come out and say this was fake news for me to know that it was fake news. Because it's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous claim. And Kennedy has already stated that he doesn't really want any position in the administration, at least as of right now. And even if he did, there's no real issue with that. I mean, the guy is very fair. He wants to work with anybody, and he wants to show respect to everybody. I don't see an issue here. Newsmax reported this brand new post. Okay, so Donald Trump posted to Truth Social again. And here's what he said. He said, "I will be going back to Butler, Pennsylvania for a big and beautiful rally, honoring the soul of our beloved firefighter hero Corey, who lost his life, and those brave patriots injured 2 weeks ago. What a day it will be. Fight, fight, fight. Stay tuned for details." So everyone's talking about this because Donald Trump has announced that he's going to be holding another rally in Butler, Pennsylvania, at the same place where he got shot at. The same place where he was almost assassinated. Man, dude, this is what I'm saying. Look, I don't like Trump. I'm not a big fan of Trump. In any way. But you have to respect it, man. That's crazy. This man never gives up. This man never gives up, and I respect it. That's a quality that's good to have. It shows that you're a true leader. That you'll stand up and you'll do whatever it takes to get the job done. You can be shot at. This man's been shot at. He's been harassed by the news. He's been harassed by the media. He's been harassed by the public. And now people want him dead. People call him Hitler. And yet he's still going. After all of the stuff he's been through. After all the 34 counts. Okay? He got 34 counts felony. He's gone through so much stuff. More than any president in history. And yet he's still going. He's still continuing. He still wants to make America great again in his eyes. And I respect that. I straight up respect that, man. Now, you can tell me what you think in the comments, of course. Now, Newsmax reported that Senator J.D. Vance brushed aside the criticism of his childless cat lady's comment. So, as you know, J.D. Vance was exposed for a 3-year-old quote of him saying and calling people childless cat ladies, including Kamala. Okay? So that's people without children. But now he brushed it aside. He said his comment from 3 years ago saying it was sarcasm. So he's calling it sarcasm now. And that the larger point, and now, is that Democrats are becoming the anti-family and anti-child party. Now, you can let me know what you think about that. Do you agree with that? Do you think the Democrats are becoming the anti-child party, the anti-family party? I actually do agree with the anti-family, because that is true. The Republicans definitely are more family-oriented. You just have to look at it from that angle, because it's true. You know, the Democrats, who openly support LGBTQ rights, which is not, you know, it's gone too far, let me just say. Being gay, being bi, being lesbian is not the issue. We had those, and we've had those forever. And even those people are calling out the movement. Okay, the new movement is the trans movement, which is to indoctrinate your kids into thinking that they are a different gender by not allowing them to grow up properly, and then forcing and or convincing those children to then get surgery, which is crazy, to cut off their body parts. And most of these people are children, by the way. Most of these people are children who have no idea what's going on. They can't make decisions for themselves. They can't even drive a car yet. They can't even smoke weed yet. They can't even use weed yet. Cannabis. They can't even drink yet. Yet you want these people to go through a life-changing surgery that they will forever regret, because once they realize that they've been duped, that they've been scammed into believing something, they're going to regret it, and their whole life is going to be ruined. Thanks to you. Okay, so we need to stop that movement. Check it out here. Newsmax talked about how former President Trump is going to go back to Butler, Pennsylvania for another rally, like we said before on the other story. But this one, there is a little bit more information here. It says that he did not receive a date, or he did not give a date for the rally, but said to stay tuned for details. So there's no official date for this rally, but he's telling us to stay tuned because it's coming soon. Probably within the next month or two, I would say, is probably when he's going to do it. Of course, it's kind of scary. If I was Donald Trump, I would be pretty much scared because I got shot at and almost died, millimeters from dying last time I went there. So I would be terrified. And honestly, I would be terrified as a crowd member, too. Someone in the crowd. Now, ABC News reported that former President Donald Trump and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu spent Friday morning meeting at Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate, the first meeting for the pair since Trump left office. So Trump met up with Netanyahu and they talked. The Friday meeting comes as Trump has recently couched his support for Israel with sharp criticisms of Netanyahu's handling of the Israel-Hamas war, arguing that he wasn't prepared to handle the attack on October 7th. Now, let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about that. Do you agree with Trump here? Do you think that Netanyahu was not prepared? I think that's true, because it shows. Now, look, I don't think they actually knew that Hamas was going to attack, because it was a surprise attack. So I'm not going to say that it's Netanyahu's fault at all, but of course, the fact that he wasn't prepared could be definitely true. So Fox News reported this quote from Donald Trump. So Donald Trump was recently at a Turning Point USA event, okay, called the Believers Summit, and here's what he had to say. Donald Trump said, "The Kamala Harris agenda is an agenda for national destruction. The Trump agenda is an agenda for national renewal and greatness. We are going to make America great again." So that's what he said at a Turning Point USA event. You can let me know if you agree with that. Of course, he is correct in some aspects here about the Kamala Harris administration. It would cause destruction in many ways, mostly for the economy. As we've seen over the past 4 years, the economy is terrible. They can show numbers all they want, but the people aren't feeling it, okay? They can show numbers saying that the economy is the best economy in the world, it's doing great, it's fantabulous, but the people don't feel it. The people have an unaffordable economy. They can't afford anything. They can't get into a home. This generation is going to be the first generation in history who will not be able to get into a home, where it's impossible to get into a home. And it's sad to see, but that happened under the Joe Biden administration with Kamala Harris. So I don't think she's going to do much better. Now check this out. Fox News reported that former President Trump touts a good relationship with Elon. Okay, so they have a good relationship together, as they always have. But Trump is against the strong electric vehicle mandate. Okay? So the electric vehicle mandate, which would mandate electric vehicles into the country, it would basically replace gas-powered vehicles entirely. He's against that, and I am too, because we're not ready for it whatsoever. Okay, the grid's not ready for it. And on top of that, we are not ready for it. Because, number one, we're all struggling in this economy, so we can't afford to even buy an electric vehicle, much less a car in general. And on top of that, if it breaks down, the electric vehicle, the battery in that vehicle costs so much money, like insane amounts of money, thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. So if your battery broke down, you're screwed. You literally cannot get it fixed because you can't afford it. So we're not ready for electric vehicles, so I agree with Trump here. But I'm glad that Elon Musk and Trump still have a good relationship. And Elon Musk, I do like Elon Musk. I think he's an inventor. He's smart. And I think his electric vehicles are good. And we should have them. But we shouldn't mandate them. We shouldn't force them onto people. We should have both cars running on the road. We should have gas-powered vehicles on the road and electric vehicles on the road. Now maybe, sometime in the future, the very, very far future, we could potentially have all electric vehicles, but we're not ready for it in the slightest. I would say we're maybe like 5% ready for it, okay? Now, Fox News, here's what they had to say. High inflation could haunt Kamala Harris in her upcoming presidential election. Okay? Americans are fed up with the rising prices and could point fingers at Vice President Kamala Harris for her boss economic policies. Because, as you know, she was vice president under Joe Biden, and their policies gave us one of the worst economies in the world in terms of affordability. I mean, literally, prices are insane. They're skyrocketing, and they're still growing. They still aren't coming down, and they've done nothing about it. So look, I think people are going to get even worse, okay? Their financial situations are going to be even worse if Kamala Harris gets elected. Now, would it be worse than Joe Biden? That's a different story. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Joe Biden was the one running things, supposedly. But Kamala Harris was there as well, kind of propping him up. So, who knows? She could have had a role in the disastrous inflation as well. But we'll just have to see. I mean, we won't know until she becomes president what she will do. And if she will be better or worse than Joe Biden. But we'll see once it comes, and if she wins the presidency, which I don't think she will, like I've said a million times. Now, Fox News reported that betting markets, these are markets where you can bet on, those markets have Trump ahead in matchup with Harris as Biden drops out of the 2024 race. Okay, so Trump's odds to win the White House remain largely unchanged on betting markets, despite Kamala Harris's quick emergence as the frontrunner to win the Democratic nominee. Okay, so Trump is ahead, still. He's ahead of Kamala Harris. We could see a little bit of a shift here in the next few months. We still have months to go till the election. So Kamala Harris could grow and could go beyond Trump, but I really don't think it's going to happen. I think Trump has this victory in lock if she is the candidate and nominee. Now, Fox News just reported recently that Governor Newsom is going to take down all the homeless encampments, okay, across California. We reported on this yesterday, but Fox News is now getting in on the action. They said Governor Newsom has issued an executive order ordering California officials to dismantle homeless encampments across the state. Like I said, I despise this. I don't think it's a good idea. I understand the threat of these homeless encampments and the danger of them to society. But it's not fixing the issue. He never fixes the issue. All he does is move the issue. They don't fix it, they move it. That's why I hate it. And it's a terrible plan, okay? It's a terrible plan. You actually need to fix the issue. Back in 2020, when asked about being named the most liberal senator, Kamala Harris wrote off the claim as a conservative smear. But that wasn't good enough for one reporter. Okay, so Kamala Harris gives telling answer when confronted about being named the most liberal senator. Okay, so when people were calling her the most liberal senator, she was saying that those people were just conservatives. Those were conservative smears. But that's not true because she actually is the most liberal senator and the most liberal VP and the most liberal candidate, and the most liberal president if she wins the presidency. And this is a wide-known fact now. So she can't just say these are conservative smears now, because the Republican Party agrees that she is the most liberal, and the Democratic Party believes she's the most liberal, and even the people that work with her believe she's the most liberal. So everybody believes she's the most liberal. And that should be something that she runs on, because she might actually have a chance of winning if she runs on that. Of course, for the right side, of course, which would be the left, the Democratic Party, who's, like, really into the whole progressiveness. And look, progressiveness is not bad. It can be bad. We saw the LGBTQ progress and become more of a cult, an indoctrination that causes real danger to our children. So, in that regards, progressiveness can be terrible, can be dangerous, destructive, but it can also be good. Progressing is really good in many aspects. For example, inventions are progressiveness. Inventions, you're progressing, you're inventing. Okay? So when we built roads, that was progressing. We now have roads. So progressiveness isn't just inherently bad. It can be bad, but it can also be good. Now, that's all we have for today. That was the final story. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode. This is episode number 8. I'll see you guys on episode number 9. Of course, this is going really well so far, in my opinion. I think the news, not the news, but the show is going really well so far, and I think we're going to make it to episode number 100. Hopefully, eventually. We'll see. We have a lot of time to go until then. But thank you so much for the support. Make sure you guys drop like, subscribe, comment, share, all that sort of stuff. It helps us grow in the algorithm. I appreciate you. And I will see you guys in the next video, in the next episode of the show. Have a great day.